and welcome. It's Charles Fockaert on February the 5th, 2019. I want to thank you once again for your support of this channel. This is a follow-up on the video I did yesterday on Usury, Alinsky, and interest and all that. So this is a follow-up. If you haven't watched that video, I would suggest you watch that video before you watch this video. Help make more sense of this one. I wanted to follow up on the fact that the Americans and the world in general is in debt over their eyebrows. And what prompted me to do this video this morning, and it was a natural, I was aware of this but I hadn't looked into it, is that adults 60 years and over are in debt for student loans, both their own and for those they took out for their children and their grandchildren. It's through the roof. 33 billion, 60 years old and over in 2010 was owed on student debt. 33 billion. And then 2013 it went to 55, and right now in 2017, which is what, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, 86 billion. 86 billion. And the average loan for those owed, the amount, the balance owed, is for people 60 to 69 is $23,000 in 2010. It's gone up to $33,000. $33,000. So I could be sitting here, let's say I took out some loans for my children or myself. I could be sitting here at my age with a debt of $25,000 or $30,000, and they can now go into your Social Security accounts and they can take your money. It used to be discharged. Student debt used to be discharged in bankruptcy. Well, they changed that law in, 2005. Don't hold me to the year, but they changed the law, so now student loans can be taken out of your Social Security check. They can't be written off in bankruptcy, and you're going to go to your grave owing that debt. And I'll tell you what, from personal experience, the only thing between me and a homelessness is the money I get, my money that I get back, that I put into the Social Security scheme and the Ponzi scheme. So they say, hey, give us your money and we'll be sure that when you're older, 62, 65 years old, you'll have this amount of money to live on. And they're supposed to keep the inflation rate down. In short, they're ripping us off every possible way they can. You can't even discharge student debt now by filing bankruptcy. So your student loan could cause you to go bankrupt, but you can't file bankruptcy and get rid of the debt. And which brings me to the next subject here, which is Jubilee. Isn't it interesting that those who claim that the Torah, that the law was given to them, and the commandment against usury, and yet they're the ones involved in creating fiat currency and then charging usury. Now remember, usury is any interest whatever on a principal sum loan. No interest is supposed to be charged according to God's law, and yet we have these Jekyll Island committee who have been creating fiat currency, been creating legal tender out of thin air since at least 1965 and before. and they went off the gold standard in 1971. So they've been able to create trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that we don't even know about and where they are. And that's all out there somewhere. And we're expected to live on our Social Security money that they took when gas was $0.25 a gallon, and now it's $3 a gallon. We're supposed to live on that, and they're lying about inflation. Get my point? They've got us from the cradle to the grave, and we ought to start talking Jubilee. We need to start insisting on a Jubilee. They're in the streets in France in the yellow vest. We need here in the United States, when we finally hit the streets with all this debt burden that we're paying for that we don't owe, we need to start insisting on a Jubilee. That's what they did in Iceland. All the debt wiped off, put some of these the guest of Jekyll Island, and they put him in prison, and they moved on. You don't hear anything about what's going on in Iceland. See, they don't have all these problems up there, folks. They're a homogeneous tribe of Dan, or maybe, no, I'm sorry, tribe of Benjamin, I believe, in Iceland, and away from Europe a little bit, but I've heard they're very, very, feminism controls even Iceland, folks. But, hey, anyway, Jubilee. Jubilee needs to be the word. Jubilee, Jubilee, Jubilee. We're not paying the debt. We don't owe the debt. It was a scam in the first place, folks. They made the loans easy to come by. When you increase the supply of money, and they were able to purchase these student loans, the cost of going to college went up. So the colleges, the universities making more money because they knew that the students were going to be able to borrow the money at, quote, low interest rates. See, keep in mind that any interest rate above 0 is too much. It's usury. They got us snookered thinking that 1%, 2%, 3% is not bad. It's bad, folks, and we're all going to pay the price for that. But they're the ones that brought this system upon us, and they're the ones that should pay for it. And along with not paying our federal income tax, boy, what we could do if we work together. They're taking our money and using it against us. And if we were organized, we could do something about that. But hey, when it finally comes down, the house of cards comes down, people will be more interested in taking action. And I understand it's not easy, folks. I get it, man. With all that I've been through, trust me, I get it. But I was working pretty much alone. If we work together, and that's what they don't want, that's why they're splintering us all up. They're all this race and that race, and these people against those people, and everybody's against everybody, and that's what they want. So that's why I really appreciate those of you who support this channel, a small group at least that are communicating and talking and working together. I'm so glad that I'm in the situation where I'm in. I don't owe anybody any money. I don't owe any property. I don't owe anything that anybody's going to want. And thank goodness that so far there hasn't been too many major problems, and I like it that way. But I'm, prepare, folks. Prepare up here for inconvenience. And we're going to sink so far. We're a third world country. I could go on and tell you about a little thing I'm trying to get done with the Department of Motor Vehicles and the county health department here, folks. I tell you, that's how I know we're in a third world country, because it takes just as long sometimes to get a simple thing done here in the United States as it did when I was living in another country and couldn't speak the language. I speak English here, and I can tell the people that I'm talking to exactly what I want. I can articulate it to them, and I can email them and leave them a voice message, and the issue, the problem, still cannot get solved without a lot of effort. It should just take a matter of a couple of minutes. Done. But no, emails back and forth, phone calls back and forth. I tell you, we're in a third, so this is going to get worse. Trying to get things done and trying to get things. I've noticed I've ordered a lot of things for my cabin here for the solar system I put in, and every other box, every other shipment, every other package, there was a problem. The wrong part, the wrong place, it got returned, it didn't come on time. You know, a lot of stuff came on time, no problem, okay, but a lot of it didn't. That's my point. And this is good times. This is good times. And the item was there. Just think of what happens when there's a rush out of our money, out of our currency. And I remember this when I was going to university, Humboldt State, and I was working for myself as a handyman. 1975, 76, 77, right up there to the Paul Volcker going to 21% interest. I lived through that, having just graduated with an economics degree. I was a self-employment young man, and I remember saying, things are going to cost more tomorrow than they do today, and I have some cash here from a job. What do I need that I need to buy, because I'm going to go buy it now because it'll cost me less money now? That's the thinking that was going on, and that's going to come back here if it hasn't. It has with me. That thinking is already with me because I know the inflation's coming. And I know that being able to get things is going to be more difficult. It's going to cost me more time and effort and money in the future than it does now. So what I'm saying is I'm buying everything. I'm preparing as much as I can right now because it's going to be a lot easier to do that now than it is later. So back to the debt, back to the Jubilee. Don't go into debt. A mortgage, I was talking with a buddy Ben here the other day. A mortgage is a death contract. That's what it means in Latin, death contract. Or is it French? So, debt, which the entire country's in, if not the world, for the most part. We're in debt up to our eyeballs. There's interest that cannot be paid and will not be paid. We're headed for a Jubilee. An overdue. How many years since we've had a Jubilee? We're headed for what I call a reset to reality. People are going to be shocked. A lot of people are not going to make it. A lot of people are not going to make it because they cannot be inconvenienced. They don't know how to build a fire if they had to. They're dependent on everything being handed to them, supplied to them. This government, that government, and when what's coming here. That may all still work in parts, and let's hope it does, but it may not. It may not. You see what's going on in California, the freezes, and all the other unusual things they're spraying. They're still spraying. And I saw a study that where the monarch butterflies are going extinct. You can I haven't seen a monarch butterfly. I used to see them when I was a young boy all the time. Big, beautiful monarch butterfly flying. You could see several in a day. I haven't seen a monarch butterfly. Anyway, the monarch butterflies are disappearing, and I was looking at the article, and they didn't mention, oh my goodness, maybe it's the geoengineering that's taking place above us all over the world. Not a mention. They live in an illusionary world. Those are not chemtrails. Those are contrails. We're losing the monarch butterfly and other insects and other problems because of the environment, but it's not geoengineering. Geoengineering is not happening. See? That's the kind of people we've got to work with, folks. And that's scary. All right? This is the good times. This is when everything's relatively calm. Enjoy your banana. Enjoy your avocado. Enjoy your fresh fruit and vegetables. Enjoy that long hot shower that you're able to take now, because there is no guarantee that that's going to last too much longer. All right? We're no better off than Venezuela, folks. No better off than Venezuela. It just hasn't happened yet. We're a third world country already in so many attributes. It's just that we started at a higher level because we attained first world, and now we're crumbling. We're an empire in decline, and the sodomites and the LGBTXYZ, they are taking over. You can't be a man anymore. Masculinity, white male masculinity, the people who built this country, is toxic. Toxic, folks. Boy, I want to thank you for your support of this channel. And may the grace of God be with us all. For it should be obvious that we most certainly need it. And we're not getting out of this without Yahweh's grace. See you.